Hello there internet dwellers, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reacting to a channel that I recently discovered called Darien Quilloy. Now the last video I watched of them was the Mimic video, that was a couple of days ago, and a lot of people said there's more to this, you should check out the full documentary, so I thought that is what I'll do now, and somebody on Discord actually sent this over called Raged Gamer, so thank you for sending this over. I believe this was sent over multiple times by multiple people, but I just call out the first one that I see basically. So once again, this is Darien Quilloy. It's called Vita, Carnis Living Meat Research Documentary Full Footage. We're going to dive straight in and let's see what this is all about. This video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content, gore, flashing lights, violence, death. Federal law provides severe civil and criminal penalties for the unauthorized viewing of this footage. Jesus.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years. Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments. From barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn of life itself.
Of course.
Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself.
Okay.
That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures.
Could you not change the name? I mean, that's a pretty hardcore name.
Wondrous ways of life. First, what are these new life forms? Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931, there has been much debate on what these newcomers are and where they came from. Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they demons who come from hell to purge humanity? From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how. But
it might be the center of the Earth, guys. You know, there's that theory that the Earth is actually hollow, and that there's some kind of other species living inside. I don't know where it comes from.
One thing is for certain: Earth is now their home.
Yep.
What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today. But here's what we do know.
Okay.
These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones.
Like humans.
They greatly resemble animals with no skin or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as vita carnis.
Vita carnis.
The carnis species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their carnis relatives. The carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the carnis species. The crawl.
The crawl.
The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure is the host to divisions of other, smaller branches. In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings.
So it's like a plant, but it's like a freaking flesh plant, basically.
Ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth.
So these guys are at the bottom of the food chain, or is this just a type
of... These organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces.
Photographed by spite of, anonymous. Damn.
Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy.
Oh, okay.
Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means.
Which is?
Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis. The dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth.
Oh, Jesus.
Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing it to spread across the world, and can be found pretty much anywhere.
Well, that's terrifying. And
its recent inclusion in the ecosystem has caused many major changes in nature's balance. One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its
Plants.
unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead.
Oh, there we go. That's not so bad then, is it?
The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals,
Good.
from plants feeding on the decayed crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well.
Oh, because it's literally just flesh. It's literally like vine flesh.
The presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again.
Okay, well, so far so good. This is looking good.
This form of symbiosis leads to an environment where all populations thrive.
Yeah, except humans maybe?
Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage.
Okay.
Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients,
Whoa,
it is
okay, hang on a second. Go back. Radio tower overgrown with cruel. A newspaper scrap about cruel growing over a radio tower. While the main text other than the headline is illegible, some of it is discernibly redacted with a pen or marker. This only serves to tell us that someone or something is going back and hiding information about vita carnis. Interesting. So as those images appear, guys, we'll go back down to that kind person in the comments there.
nutrients. It has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms.
Okay.
The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality.
Yeah, farmers must be using it.
The crawl may also be used as a food source for humans,
Oh.
and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards.
Well, yeah, maybe season it up a bit.
The
yeah.
crawl also plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying.
Okay.
Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism,
Oh,
and go
jeez.
to live on as an independent animal. This leads
So this is like a tree, but instead of it growing fruit, it grows these freaking meat creatures.
us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing. The first of these creatures are the Trimmings.
The Trimmings.
The Trimmings.
Oh, okay. What was that? Let's go back. Was that Once Upon a Time? Here we go. Let's see what this one is. The first page in a hidden storybook, the text reads, Once upon a time there was a distant kingdom. The kingdom was illegible. They traveled land and sea to discover new places and learn what, other than the abrupt cutting off of the text, we can see this is page 1 and images of a family adorned in crowns and the trappings of royalty.
Trimmings are small animals.
Look at that face, man. That's not something Meat Canyon would draw or only plays.
Skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a plump body, round
Nice.
head, small eyes,
Kinda
nose
thick,
and ear
though.
holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics.
Okay.
One thing they all share
Interesting.
in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger
Damn.
than a basketball.
Oh, wow. That's still freaking
Its
pretty
life
big.
starts with its separation from the crawl. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume.
Okay.
Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects,
Damn,
and
it eats
deceased
everything.
animals. Although its
Oh
appearance
my
is
god, look at
unsightly,
it. I feel like this is a face that everyone pulls when, you know, they're in the shower and someone opens the door, they forgot to lock the door, and this is the immediate reaction of the person in the shower.
creature, only fleeing, screeching, and hiding when threatened. Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators.
Well, that sucks.
Naturally, its population would eventually die out. This is not the case.
Okay, more stuff. Let's see. Mass trimming infestation. Estimated 400 plus trimmings gathered under a large abandoned satellite dish. Okay.
Is not the case. The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their numbers. Naturally, trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant crawl.
Good. I mean, I don't know if it's good.
Trimmings grow at a decent pace, reaching maturity at around 7 months, having
Okay.
a maximum lifespan of 2 to 4 years.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like a rat.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests, due to them
Pests.
digging through trash bins and making
They're like
excessive noise at
raccoons.
night.
And again, I mean,
Besides all of this, some people still keep trimmings as pets
What?
and relatively domesticate them.
That's pretty
Nuisance or
cool.
not, trimmings are a wondrous creature. From their plentiful numbers to their skittish nature, they are truly a thing to behold. The next species on our list is the meat snake.
The meat snake. All right, go back.
meat-
For God's the meat snake. During the travels on one of their voyages, a great storm struck. It was so powerful, it swayed the boat. The royal family rowed and pushed the prince out and into the sea. So this is like this is page 2 of this book. It's almost got like what's it? Frozen? Was that the story of Frozen?
The meat snake. The meat snake is a worm-like creature, made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes. When it first separates
What is it
from
like
the crawl,
freaking? What's that game called where you go around as that worm and you get bigger?
it is only a few centimeters in length.
Not snake. You know the one I'm on about.
Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters. Although, under extreme
5
conditions,
meters.
like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length.
Oh, okay. Go back again. Jeez. Largest meat snake ever discovered. During a sweep of an underground settlement made during the war, a massive sized meat snake was discovered stuck inside an underground railway. The beast was measured at a total of 40 meters in length. It is believed that bodies gathered during the war were fed to the creature, causing it to reach the unbelievable size. Cult activity. So there's people feeding these
Greatly
things
surpass this length.
as some kind of offering, maybe?
The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts.
Mm-hmm.
A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism.
Damn.
The meat snake allocates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby.
That's pretty cool.
This process shares many similarities to regular snakes, hence the meat snake's name.
Meat snake.
Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole.
Damn.
Once the entire body
She
is
says it's the
consumed,
first
the
time.
meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals. Some
That's
will
gonna
break
dissolve
down
it.
soft tissue like skin and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible.
And then it poops out
After
something.
that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract and slowly be implemented into its own structure,
Okay.
extending the meat snake.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So it doesn't poop.
Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises,
Oh, okay.
hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own. Each
What?
meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed. During
Okay.
its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed.
That's crazy.
A meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years.
Wow.
The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease due to its preserving chemicals. The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating.
Wow. So it can just live
Interestingly, the
forever,
meat snake
basically.
is the only member of the carnis family that is able to reproduce. When
Wow.
a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis,
Oh.
splitting itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms.
And then they go. Oh my god, it's like a
Meat
hydra.
snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot, not too cold. Their population depends entirely on the amount of corpses available.
Oh my
Where
god.
there is
Imagine
death,
coming across that thing.
There are meat snakes.
Where there's death, there's meat
Humanity will
snakes.
use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease.
Damn.
Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts.
That is
and
crazy.
Used to dispose of deceased animals.
Well, I guess they're kind of
They are
useful.
extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them.
They're
only
tame.
acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal.
Oh,
this
okay.
means they are very easy to tame.
Oh, nice. You can have them as pets.
Overall, meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself.
Yeah, for
It is
sure.
an amazing experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell.
Yeah, they just smell of freaking rotten flesh.
Our
I
next
bet.
creature is the mimic.
Oh no. Well, we've heard about these guys before. After being stranded at sea, the young prince eventually was cast to an island. Injured, the prince stumbled his way into a nearby cave. The prince used what magic he could to put himself into a healing sleep.
The mimic.
Oh god.
The mimic is a bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy. They
Ugh.
greatly resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging, empty eyes,
Literally salad
and their
fingers.
most prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile. Although it resembles a happy face, this is due
Terrifying.
to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped. The maw of the mimic contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back.
Damn.
This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing chunks whole.
Oh my
A
god.
mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh.
Ugh. That's not...
Because of this, they are found solely around human-populated areas.
Oh wow.
The mimic's life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow.
Come off of the crawl as well.
It will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning.
Oh god.
Its hunting style changes and becomes much more complicated. It now stalks and feeds.
Oh, that is terrifying. These photo edits are really cool.
Human-populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture.
Mannequins?
Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable. This is typically when the human is asleep.
Oh, that's freaking awful. This is gonna be chills.
Once the prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption.
Oh my god.
Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the human population, and begin to digest its meal.
Look at him stood there.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey.
Woo! My door's on that side. You son of a bitch.
Cornering themselves. Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
That's just awful. Oh wow, okay, cool. I like the way they switch like this into like found footage. Feels a lot more real. Yeah, turn the flashlight off. They're gonna know where you are. Oh god. Turn your flashlight off. Oh well, you're dead. GG's. And now. Oh, I don't like how it's just stood still. Oh, look at those salad fingers. Oh. Oh! I gotta say, that render is definitely better than what we saw before. Like, yeah, that was good. That's good. I like that. That's freaking awful.
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has two potential morphs it may develop into.
Okay.
If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will develop more human-like features.
Oh
It will
no.
grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being.
Well, that's
It
awful.
now can blend entirely into civilization and lure other humans more effectively.
What, can it like talk and stuff
The
though?
second type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food. It will grow into a larger, more evolved hunter. Its proportions will increase in length,
Elder mimic.
and its humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark coating of a flexible skin, which is highly durable, and increases in strength the more the elder mimic consumes.
Well, that is just
This
awful.
excludes the face,
Oh.
which is now coated in a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been heightened. This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet.
Yeah, you don't say. Flipping how?
Because of the obvious threat this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here are the instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or
Yeah.
there have been mimic sightings.
Man, that would be
2.
terrifying in normal
If
day
you
life.
encounter a stationary mimic, see
Imagine
an
that.
area.
You want to go to the shop, like, or you want to go shopping. You don't, and you know there's mimics in your area. You'd be living such a paranoid
Amazed
life.
by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities. 3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route.
Oh, okay.
4. In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people.
Oh my god. It's
5.
basically saying get slowly
If
eaten.
you have a weapon, do not use it.
Oh.
A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down in
Really?
time.
Not even in the
Instead,
head?
Use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks.
Wow.
6. In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area, and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture.
Uh-huh.
A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey, and will move on.
Be safe, and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs.
Wait, this is just the third one?
Next up, the Harvester.
The Harvester. Alright, let's see what this is. But the prince's sleep was long. He slept for what seemed like forever. As he slept, the land around him changed and grew. It was unrecognizable from when the prince first arrived. But the sleep still needed time to heal the prince. Much more time, but it kept the prince safe while he rested, guarding him from the elements of the land as the land
The
changed.
Harvester.
Hmm.
The Harvester is a large, bulbous mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base.
Man.
The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter.
That's
The
crazy.
tendrils, on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter
Oh
horizontally.
my god.
The Harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in a unique and deadly way. A harvester is created when a node, that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow.
Ah.
Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further.
Jeez.
Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground.
Flamethrower.
The harvester is equipped with 2 types of specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They
Oh.
lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines have a vein that feed into them. that pump two types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis.
It'll eat it. Oh, ew.
The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting.
Prevents blood cells from
Whenever
clotting.
a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently.
Wow.
Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse.
Damn.
The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding.
So they're
All
just
the
going to
prey
bleed
can
out.
do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss.
Okay, so what? It feeds off the blood?
Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients.
Ah, got you.
These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid.
Oh my
Once
god.
the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I
Once
guess
secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester.
And it'll grow?
This bulb houses all the vital organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy.
Okay.
The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth,
Brilliant.
which then attracts more animals.
Oh my god. No, it's not
A
brilliant.
strange behavior the harvester displays as its choice of diet will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens.
Okay.
One, it could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return,
Yeah.
making it not worth the time. Another could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators,
interesting.
allowing
God,
a
these-
safe place where prey
these
may
guys are
thrive
clever.
and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing.
Well, what? It just keeps
Although
growing,
it is a
or
spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous.
you don't say?
The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests.
Oh, thank God.
If you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you, being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive.
Oh, hang on. What was that? Family attacked by. Okay, but I'm guessing that creature. Authorities reuse to handle the harvester. Authorities refuse to handle the harvester. So great. So just there,
The best
chilling.
thing you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place. If you are hiking, take note of any warnings or signs
That's
saying
so
that there are
cool.
harvesters around. If you also notice,
I
an
love
abundance of
things
flesh,
that like they kind of blend into reality so seamlessly like that. Like they're a
ground-dwelling
thing that
plants
everyone
in a
knows about.
forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife. This is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks. If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic.
Okay.
Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If
Just
you have
walk.
any objects
Just
with
walk.
considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe.
Okay.
Continue
Oh,
until you
that's
are
horrible.
completely sure you are out of harm's way. You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious, or you will be a harvester's next meal.
Alistair's angel. That guy
Next
couldn't have
up is
survived.
the host.
Oh! My God, it keeps getting worse. Outside the cave during a time of hardship. Something that island critters. The critters were struggling in. So there was barely any food to go around. They would go and gather whatever they. Okay, there's literally, I can't read that.
The host of influence.
Host of influence. Look at that thing.
The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease.
Okay. What?
The host is a semi-humanoid looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms. Other than this, it shares no other characteristics.
Oh my god.
The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin.
Reminds me of in Silent Hill 4 when you go, there's those things that come out the wall. And like when you're going up an escalator and they attack you.
The host is covered in muscular tissue fibers, tendons, and veins. In some parts of the body are covered in a meaty plate.
So what does it
used
do?
To cover any large exposed areas, but allowing movement.
Oh, it can move.
The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding.
Oh.
On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures, extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air.
Okay, what do they do?
These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs.
Okay. What was that? What was that? Oh! What about the first one? Oh, man. These renders are horrific.
The host is rare, only found in North America.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, America. Of course.
Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This is because of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one.
Why not wear a gas mask?
The spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled. A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change.
Will it be like that thing that, like a zombie parasite that forces its prey to go and get killed? By like a
sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination.
Oh, God.
Then more serious symptoms appear over time. These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you, or someone you know show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services.
Why? What will happen?
After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk.
Oh!
The direction the infected will walk
I
is
knew it. Oh, that is so... Man, this gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected
and then he eats
individual.
It.
If the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs.
Oh my God, that is so
the host will
brutal.
Consume them and discard the leftover scraps. However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal.
Oh, okay.
If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location.
Oh man. This could be its own video game.
The hazard of being around one
or film.
Makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs.
Mm-hmm. God, that's
Next, the monoliths.
The what?
The monoliths.
The monolith. Although one day the critters found the cave while searching for food, they found the prince entranced in his healing sleep. The critters were so awestruck and enchanted by the prince's magic.
The monoliths.
Okay.
The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972, in the area of...
Okay, why aren't you telling us that?
All of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter. This ring of monoliths surrounds the
Brilliant. So we don't know where it is.
monolith is a Titanic-sized being,
A Titanic-sized
measuring
being.
roughly 120 meters in height. Each monolith
Wow, at least we can see it coming.
has 2 trunk legs that are firmly embedded underground. The legs connect to a torso. The creature itself
Big floppy dick.
is made of hundreds of thousands
Why is that the first thing I think
of
of?
meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure. These strands end at the neck, fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an
Bro, this has got me
upside-down triangle
immersed, I'm not gonna
with
lie.
a hole in its center. On
Super
each
well
side of the
done.
monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like appendages. These reach just barely to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away.
Damn.
What the monoliths do is simply stand and do nothing.
Okay.
The only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in During this period, they were extremely aggressive. When the group of
Brilliant. Well,
were making their way to
stop
the city,
swearing.
the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out.
Damn.
When military vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough to top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast, completely
Wow.
knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity.
Oh, God.
Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature.
Then what happened? I don't think it's happy.
Although damaged,
Oh.
it regenerated at great speed and resumed its stance unscathed. Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all. Ever since,
No shit.
the monoliths stand silently, now only a grand spectacle of awe and mystery, only adding more questions to these meat beings.
Yeah, what are they doing?
And finally,
Here we go.
the last creature on this list is
Whoa, whoa, go back. Is it not going to say what the, why are they here? Are they dangerous? A thought was brought up. What if this something could use its magic to help them? It may grow food or heal sickness. They continue to argue about the prince and his magic. The majority of the critters agreed that the prince was dangerous and it should not be meddled with. Interesting. The singularity.
The orb comprised of a dark-colored mineral with hints of luminous colors within its core. The singularity is estimated to be 1 meter in diameter.
Okay.
The orb has several unique qualities that are not well understood. The singularity typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also a variety of reading that have been documented coming from the orb itself. Various things like magnetic fields, energy signatures, and other pattern-like signals released by the singularity. The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info about the singularity is hidden or confiscated by officials. We were only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by...
So the singularity must be... The singularity must be like the...
marvelous and majestic world that exists today. It's as extraordinary to have such strange and mysterious beings appear all around us.
Right.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration
Damn.
and discovery of the lives of these living meat creatures.
That was freaking awesome, man. Like, the creativity that's gone into this is beyond that I could ever imagine. That was super dope. Guys, you need to go and subscribe to Darian. However you say the name, I apologize. That was fantastic. That was really good. And I look forward to more. Like, you basically just created a whole new freaking eco structure there of like, well, they're not aliens, are they? They're from Earth. But I guess the question is, where the hell did they come from? why do they come out of nowhere, and what the hell is the singularity and the freaking monolith, why are they around? It's pretty insane. But yeah, there we go, guys. Be sure to go subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed my reaction, why not leave a like, rate, and subscribe? And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.